Ladies and gentlemen, our summit director and moderator is Mr. Taimur Nabeli. Taimur is a veteran of international broadcast news with a 25 years track record of covering global events for CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, CNBC, and most recently, Channel News Asia. I will present to you my very dear friend, Taimur Nabeli.
Thank you. That's far. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to see you all here. It's a great pleasure for me to be in Pakistan today. It's my first time in the country, and particularly when I'm in the presence of such distinguished company, both panelists and audience. And I hope we're all going to have a great day, a great 2 days, in fact, of insight and conversation under the banner of innovating for the future. As you can see, we've got a great bunch of speakers lined up for you here and throughout the next couple of days. We're all going to be hoping to present to you a mixture of events, talks, conversations, and hopefully engagement from you guys as well. So throughout the day, I hope that you guys will engage with all of us at some point or another. My role in all of this is simply to oil the wheels, to be honest. I'm just here to introduce you to our distinguished speakers, maybe ask a couple of questions myself, encourage you to participate as well, and move things along as briskly as I can, and hopefully inform you where there are changes to the schedules and to what's going on here. So in order to do that, let's get the whole process underway. I'm going to start by inviting one by one our speakers to make their initial presentations. That'll take us up to the tea break, and then we'll move on from there. So last thing I'll say to you is please put your phones to mute, engage the minds, and prepare yourselves for a great 2 days. Our first speaker this morning is going to be Professor Dr. Atta Rahman, who is among many, many other things, a very distinguished son of Pakistan. He is a UNESCO Science Laureate and founding chairman of the Higher Education Commission here. Professor, please join us at the podium.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Professor Hassan Iqbal, Minister for Planning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Very good morning to you. The theme of this morning's session, innovating for the future. And that's the key. How do you innovate? The 4 key pillars for progress are education, science and technology, innovation and entrepreneurship, but perhaps most importantly, a visionary government leadership that understands the importance of these in the process of socio-economic development. So whether it's large countries like China or small countries like Singapore, the story is the same. It's the quality of your human resources, your ability to unleash the creative potential of your young. That has been the secret of their success. Singapore, population about 1/4 of Karachi, exports last year about $400 billion US. Compare with Pakistan, about $22 billion. So what is it that makes that tiny Singapore with no natural resources have exports which are 18 or 20 times those of this large country? It's the quality of the human resources and the ability to innovate and to transition to a knowledge-based economy. National University of Singapore ranked amongst the top 12 of the world today, much ahead of many of the leading universities in the United States. Biopolis in Singapore, a whole city on biotechnology. Turn to the other extreme, China. Never before in the history of man have so many been transformed so quickly as has happened in China. China started sending in significant numbers its brightest young to top universities in Europe and USA back in the late 1970s. Initially in 1978, it sent about 800 students for doctoral level studies. Come to 2016, 550,000, more than 500,000 students were sent by China last year to top universities in USA and Europe, and about 450,000, almost 500,000, returned back to China after getting their higher education. And these are being clustered. And the result is that last year, the publications, for instance, in the field of nanotechnology, a fast developing area, were greater from China than from the United States of America. So it's the key for Pakistan's progress is education. We have a youth bulge, about 100 million below the age of 22 or 23, and we have a window of opportunity for the next 30 or 40 years, where if we can tap into this huge potential and unleash the creative talent, then the future is ours. If not, it becomes a huge burden. Now let me take you to a land which is stranger than Alice in Wonderland. It's a land of science today, a land where truth is stranger than fiction, and every day brings 1,000 discoveries. Many of them are transforming our lives, often serendipitously. So for instance, if you look at the field of biotechnology, why do you get mangoes only in the summer, not in the winter? Scientists have learned that there is a biological clock which is built in, which tells the plants when to fruit, when to flower. The DET1 gene, and there are other genes also. And they're learning how to switch these genes on and off so that you get fruits round the year. And all I'm not talking about now is billions of dollars and cents, innovation transforming economies. Similarly, we have golden rice which has been developed. Thousands of children which used to die because of lack of vitamin A now are being saved because of genetic modifications of rice which have pro-vitamin A built in, and they're getting their doses of vitamin A. The process of aging, can you control it? Can you slow down the process of aging? Can you reverse the process of aging? You'll obviously say, no, that's impossible. But no, lo and behold, it has been done. At least in animals, it has been demonstrated successfully. And there are a number of compounds now which not only slow down the process of aging, they actually reverse it. Resveratrol, for instance, is one, the work of David Sinclair at Harvard Medical School. When given to mice which was 2.5, 3 years old, their body features changed and they became like 1 year old. Another is NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. A third is metformin, a drug which was approved for diabetes, but it is now being regarded by some as the fountain of youth. And in animals, it actually reverses the process of aging. So this is a world where truth is stranger than fiction. Science is full of strange surprises. Just 2 years ago, sometimes scientists have developed a very interesting way and a very cheap and accurate way for cutting genes, splicing genes. And these splices can then be inserted from one plant species to another or from one animal species to another, opening up huge new vistas for the future in terms of drought-resistant plants, in terms of rice which will have flavors of mangoes, etc., etc. The sky is the limit. Similarly, some scientists have taken the genes from the firefly, jugnu ke jo genes hote hain, and put them into orchids. And lo and behold, you have orchids which glow in the dark like fireflies. You've all have heard of 3D printing, but now human organs or parts of human organs are being produced by 3D printing. There are people walking around on the planet with parts of their kidneys and livers produced by 3D printing. Through a technique, basically an inkjet printer, which can emit human cells, and layer by layer you can build up human organs. Wearable kidney machines are around the corner so that you don't have to go for dialysis if you have kidney failure. You can wear these machines under your coat, and then it's a constant. Portable kidney machines are here. Stem cells are promising to transform the way medicine is going to be practiced tomorrow. Professor Yamanaka in Japan got his Nobel Prize for his work on induced pluripotent stem cells. You can take a normal skin cell, reconvert it back into a stem cell, and then redifferentiate it into a heart cell or a lung cell or other cells. Cut off a tail of a lizard and it grows back. Cut off the hand of a person and it doesn't grow back. Why not? Scientists have discovered that there are certain tiny microRNA switches in lizards which can be activated, allowing the organ to grow back. And they are looking for the similar switches in humans, so to allow human organs to be grown back similarly. So this is the strange world of the future. Turn to neuroscience. 100 billion neurons in your brain. 100 billion neurons, let me repeat. Each talking to some 10,000 other neurons. 100 billion times 10,000 synaptic connections. Arguably the most complex object in our universe is our own brain. How does it work? How are the thoughts stored? What is the chemical basis of thought storage? That's an area of my research, and I've published many articles on it internationally. 2 of my reviews have come out just last year and the year before. Thoughts are not abstract. They're made of atoms and molecules, and they can be recognized. So fascinating things are going on. For instance, if I was to wear a cap with certain sensors, and if I was to give a mental command, it could be readily recognized by a small computer, and you can drive cars by thought control. Similarly, the blind can today see with their tongue. See with their tongue. Actually, you see with your brain, not with your eyes. Eyes are only a mechanism for image transfer. So YCAB, a company in Wisconsin, has developed this device, a little camera, which takes in the optical signals, converted into electrical signals, and then transferred into a lollipop-like device in the mouth of the blind person. And the moment he or she puts it in the mouth, then through the nervous system of the tongue, the image gets transferred to the brain, restoring partial eyesight. YCAB, W-I-C-A-B, you might want to look it up tonight on the internet. Commercially available, water under the bridge. Amazing developments are going on wherever you look at. You go to China, you don't know a word of Chinese. You're talking to a person who doesn't know a word of English. What do? Waverly Laboratories, New York, has developed a real-time translation device. You're talking in English, the person has a little device in his ear and he's listening to you in Chinese, and vice versa. So this is where the money is coming from. This is where investments in knowledge, in human resources, in education, science and innovation and entrepreneurship are transforming economies. DARPA, a US defense organization, has developed these cyborg beetles, flies, and they can sit on the wall of Mr. Hassan Iqbal and transfer all the secret conversations that he's taking with the Prime Minister to the US Embassy a few miles away in real time, and then off to USA. So Hassan Iqbal साहब ज़रा ख्याल रखिएगा अगली दफ़ा मक्खी आके बैठे आपकी टेबल पे. So this is smartphone is enough. That's right. Let's turn to material sciences, new materials. Again, amazing developments. If I was to cover Asfar Hassan here with a cloak made out of a special material called metamaterials, you, Asfar, are going to become invisible. These have the strange property of bending light. So Harry Potter's disappearing cloak is now a reality. And these are already being used for cloaking submarines and tanks and submarines. You have intelligent materials which remember their shape. So you may be in a car which has a little dent, but then it'll restore itself. The Terminator scenario is now a reality. Fire a bullet, a hole is created. Within 4 or 5 seconds, the hole disappears. Self-healing materials are here, commercially available. Wrinkle zapping cream. You have wrinkles in your face, you're old. Just put this cream, the wrinkles disappear in 10 seconds. Come back in the night, wash the cream off and the wrinkles reappear. Nanocellulose, nanotechnology. Paper made out of cellulose, but nanocellulose, light, absorbent, bulletproof. So bulletproof jackets are now being made out of nanocellulose. Paper has been made from stone, powdered stone and polymer, again commercially available. Electronic textiles are here. You're wearing a pink dress, madam, and you say, I'm tired of pink, I want blue with orange flowers or whatever. Press a little button, and the design changes in a flash of a second. Electronic textile. Thousands of designs are stored within dresses. The husbands should be relieved because they don't have to buy so many dresses anymore. Similarly, ebb textiles are here, E-B-B-B, ebb, like water ebbs up and down. So they change their color slowly. You go to a party wearing a blue dress and you come back wearing a maroon one. That color slowly changes. And so on. So it's a strange world of innovation. And countries which have realized this and which are investing massively in research are moving forward. Pakistan has made significant progress in the last 10 or 15 years in higher education, also some progress in sciences. And I think I must give the credit to the present government and especially Professor Hassan Iqbal for restoring the massive budgetary cuts that took place in the previous government, and not only restoring them, but doubling the allocations for higher education. So thank you, Professor Hassan Iqbal. The country is grateful to you. So I have 4 minutes left, and I'm looking at the time. So wherever we look, it's innovation transforming economies. And so in order to move forward, we have to excite young minds about research, about innovation, attract them to areas where they can innovate and contribute to the process of socio-economic development. When I was the chairman of the Higher Education Commission, and before that, the federal minister responsible for science and technology, we took a certain number of measures for Pakistan. For instance, we introduced a completely new salary structure, whereby the salary of a professor became about 4 to 5 times the salary of a federal minister in the government. 4 to 5 times the salary. So that when young people are thinking about careers, they should just follow their noses and do what excites them, whether it's social sciences or whether it's engineering or mathematics or whatever. But these were contractual appointments with tenure track, first international evaluation after 3 years and then after 6 years, before they were made permanent. We sent 11,000 students abroad, about 5,000 of them for doctoral studies, because universities are not about beautiful buildings, which you find often in the Middle East. They're about beautiful minds. The key single most important factor that determines quality of a university is the faculty. If you have a beautiful campus worth billions of dollars, 0 international ranking. If you have equipment worth billions, 0 international ranking. Size, 0 international ranking, nothing. The ranking of universities comes from creativity. International publications and impact factor journals, PhD output, PhD faculty to student ratio, international patents, international honors and awards that the university is winning, and so on. It's all about creativity. And that has to be the focus for Pakistan if we are going to move forward. Creativity. So we introduced a digital library at that time. In 2001, if you had walked into a university library, you wouldn't have found even half a dozen of the latest journals. Today, every public sector university has access to 65,000 textbooks from 220 international publishers and 25,000 international journals. Similarly, in the IT area and the mobile telephone area, we placed Pakistan's first satellite in space, ParkSat-1, part of it used for education as well under the virtual university, and introduced a large number of other programs. The result was that in 2001, we had only 700 publications in international journals coming from Pakistan. Last year, we had more than 10,000 international publications. And we are slightly ahead of India now in terms of research publications per million population on a population basis, which is no small achievement. And Thomson Reuters, the world's leading agency for assessment of education, in August 2016 came forward with a report heading Another Brick in the Wall, BRIC, and compared Pakistan's transformation with the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and concluded that none of these countries have shown such a fantastic increase in the improvement in the quality of education in highly cited publications as Pakistan. This is a report worth reading, Thomson Reuters, August 2016. And Nature, the world's leading journal in science, has published 4 editorials in Pakistan about what I was trying to do when I was heading the Higher Education Commission. And in one of them, it said the paradox of Pakistan. The heading was the paradox of Pakistan. This country torn with so many problems, and yet you have a system of higher education which needs to be emulated by others. And I was humbled and amused when it called me in that editorial a force of nature. So Pakistan has got tremendous potential. If we want to innovate for the future, it has to be on the strength of our children. That's our real wealth. We have to invest in education, we have to invest in science, we have to invest in linkages of that to agricultural development and to industrial development, and contribute to job creation and to improvement in the lot of our people in Pakistan. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Professor, thank you so much for reminding us that there is an inspirational future potentially available to all of us. And as a resident of Singapore, I can attest to what you say. The government policy there is very much to the idea of unleashing the creative potential of the young, as you put it. And hopefully if the age reversal technologies you talk about come about, then we can all be young and unleashed again soon.